The Zorvathians had been watching Earth for centuries, amused by the primitive technology and chaotic societies. With their advanced ships and weaponry, they believed conquering Earth would be a simple task. The invasion began on a calm Tuesday morning. Massive Zorvathian ships descended from the sky, blocking out the sun and causing widespread panic. In New York City, John Carter, a former Marine, stood on the roof of his apartment building staring at the alien vessels. "This is it," he muttered. "We're under attack." His neighbor Lisa joined him, her face pale. "What do? We fight," John replied, determination in his eyes. The Zorvathians deployed their troops, who landed in major cities around the globe. Their technology disabled Earth's defenses in minutes, creating an eerie silence. But that silence was quickly broken by the sounds of humanity's resilience. In the suburbs of Tokyo, a group of teenagers armed with nothing but homemade explosives and sheer courage ambushed a Zorvathian patrol. Their leader, Hiroshi, shouted, "For Earth!" as they launched their attack. In the streets of Rio de Janeiro, Maria, a nurse, organized her community to set up barricades and makeshift hospitals. "We will not go quietly," she told her fellow citizens. Meanwhile, in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, tribes who had lived in isolation for centuries emerged, using their deep knowledge of the land to set traps and ambushes for the invaders. The Zorvathians were taken aback. They had expected a quick victory, but instead faced fierce resistance. General Tharok, the commander of the invasion, watched the chaos unfold from his command ship. "These humans are more resilient than we anticipated," he said to his second-in-command, Zarek. Zarek nodded, studying the holographic display. "They are using guerrilla tactics. It's slowing our progress." Back on the ground, John and Lisa joined a resistance group led by a retired scientist, Dr. Emily Smith. "We need to hit them where it hurts," she explained. "Their communication centers are their weak point." Using old military equipment and sheer ingenuity, the resistance fighters launched a daring raid on a Zorvathian communication hub in Los Angeles. The battle was intense, with lasers and bullets flying through the air. Despite their lack of advanced technology, the humans' determination shone through. As the Zorvathian defenses fell, John shouted, "For humanity!" and led the charge. The victory was small but significant, sending a clear message to the invaders. Earth would not be conquered easily. The Zorvathians, realizing they had underestimated their adversary, began to reconsider their strategy. The invasion was not going as planned, and the resilience and creativity of humanity were proving to be formidable obstacles. As the days turned into weeks, the Zorvathians discovered that Earth's history was not as simple as they had assumed. Strange phenomena began to surface. Ancient artifacts buried deep within the Earth emitted powerful energies, baffling the Zorvathian scientists. Reports of humans displaying extraordinary abilities, telekinesis, teleportation, and even controlling the elements, started to circulate among the invading forces. In Cairo, a team of Zorvathian archaeologists unearthed a colossal stone tablet inscribed with symbols that glowed with an otherworldly light. Dr. Vorka, the leading Zorvathian researcher, analyzed the artifact with fascination. "This predates any known human civilization," she murmured, her blue skin shimmering under the lab lights. "And it's emitting a frequency we've never encountered." Meanwhile, in the catacombs beneath Paris, resistance fighters stumbled upon a hidden chamber filled with ancient scrolls and relics. Among them was a young historian named Claire, who quickly realized the significance of their find. "These scrolls speak of a time when humans wielded powers that rival the gods," she whispered to her companion Marcus. "We need to get these to the resistance leaders." In New York, John and Lisa were part of a mission to infiltrate a Zorvathian research facility. Inside, they discovered a series of experiments being conducted on captured humans. The subjects displayed incredible abilities, from manipulating fire to healing wounds instantly. John's eyes widened as he watched a young girl levitate a Zorvathian scientist with a mere flick of her wrist. "They've been trying to harness our powers," he realized, "but they don't understand them." Back on the Zorvathian command ship, General Tharok reviewed the latest intelligence reports. "It appears Earth holds secrets we never imagined," he said to Zarek. "We need to adapt our approach." Zarek nodded. "Our troops are demoralized. They were not prepared for this level of resistance or these anomalies." We need to understand these humans better if we are to conquer them. On the ground, Dr. Emily Smith and her team worked tirelessly to decode the ancient texts and artifacts that were being uncovered. These are not just myths, she explained to John and Lisa. They're instructions, knowledge left by our ancestors. If we can unlock their secrets, we might stand a chance against the Zorvathians. In the depths of the Amazon, the tribes used their ancient rituals and knowledge to summon forces of nature, creating barriers of vines and roots that ensnared the invaders. The Zorvathians found themselves increasingly outmatched by a force they could not comprehend. As the humans continued to resist and the mysteries of Earth unfolded, the Zorvathians grew more desperate. Their technological superiority was no match for the sheer will and hidden powers of humanity. The tide of the invasion began to shift, and the Zorvathians realized that their greatest challenge was not just conquering Earth, but understanding it. As the Zorvathians grappled with the mysterious forces and human resilience, the human spirit shone brighter than ever. Across the globe, humanity's innate strength and creativity became the forefront of the resistance. In London, a former engineer named Alex had gathered a diverse group of people, ranging from scientists to street artists. They used their combined skills to turn everyday objects into weapons and defense mechanisms. One night, they managed to hack into a Zorvathian drone, repurposing it to gather intelligence on the invaders. "We might not have their tech, but we've got something better, our ingenuity," Alex declared. In the ruins of Moscow, a ragtag group of soldiers and civilians fought side by side. They were led by Ivan, a grizzled veteran who had seen his fair share of battles. "We don't need to match them in strength," he told his followers. "We just need to outsmart them." Under his leadership, they executed a series of ambushes, using the city's dense urban landscape to their advantage. In Sydney, a young mother named Emily became an unlikely leader. She rallied her neighborhood, turning basements into bunkers and playgrounds into training grounds. Her young son, Max, discovered he had the ability to sense the Zorvathians' movements, a gift that proved invaluable. "They might have the machines," Emily said, "but we have the heart." The Zorvathians, despite their advanced technology, were being outmaneuvered by the sheer determination and adaptability of the humans. Their attempts to study and control the mysterious powers humans exhibited were failing, as the humans themselves barely understood these abilities. General Tharok was growing increasingly frustrated. "These humans are relentless," he admitted in a rare moment of candor to Zarek. "Their spirit is unbreakable. We must find a way to counter this." In a secret base hidden in the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Emily Smith and her team were making breakthroughs with the ancient texts and artifacts. "These aren't just powers," she explained to John and Lisa. "They're part of who we are, our legacy. The Zorvathians can't harness them because they don't belong to them." John, who had become a symbol of the resistance, nodded. "Then we need to make sure everyone knows. We need to unite the world under this knowledge." In an inspiring broadcast that was relayed across the globe, John addressed humanity. "We are not alone in this fight. We have the strength of our ancestors within us, and together we are unstoppable. Let's show the Zorvathians what it means to be human." The speech ignited a fire in the hearts of people everywhere. From the jungles of the Congo to the icy plains of Siberia, humans united in their fight. The Zorvathians began to retreat, unable to match the coordinated efforts and the unyielding will of their adversaries. Humanity's resilience and creativity were turning the tide. The Zorvathians, once confident in their victory, found themselves facing an enemy they could not predict or understand. The fight was far from over, but the scales were tipping in humanity's favor. The Zorvathians, now desperate and on the defensive, struggled to maintain their foothold on Earth. Their once superior technology was no longer an advantage. Humanity's unyielding spirit and newfound unity posed a threat they had not anticipated. The turning point of the invasion was imminent. In Washington, D.C., the makeshift headquarters of the global resistance, leaders from around the world gathered. John, now a prominent figure in the fight, stood before them. "We have discovered what makes us strong," he said. "It's not just our technology or our numbers, but our history, our unity, and our will to fight for our home." Dr. Emily Smith presented their findings on the ancient texts and artifacts. These relics show that humanity has always had a connection to powers beyond our understanding. They were meant to be a safeguard, a last resort against any who would threaten our existence. Around the world, these powers were awakening. In the Sahara Desert, an ancient buried city began to emit waves of energy that disrupted Zorvathian machinery. In the Himalayas, monks who had meditated for decades harnessed their spiritual energy to create barriers that the invaders could not penetrate. The final battle began in the skies above the Pacific Ocean. The Zorvathians launched a desperate assault, intending to break humanity's spirit once and for all. But they were met with a united front. Ships from every nation, piloted by seasoned veterans and brave volunteers, soared into the fray. Among them was Alex, leading a squadron of repurposed drones and fighter jets. On the ground, resistance fighters engaged the Zorvathians with newfound confidence. In the dense forests of the Amazon, the tribes, led by their shamans, called upon the spirits of the forest to aid them. In the ruins of Paris, Claire and Marcus led a charge with newfound abilities that defied Zorvathian understanding. In the midst of the chaos, John led a daring raid on the Zorvathian command ship. With Lisa by his side, they fought their way through the alien soldiers, reaching General Tharok's command center. "This ends now," John declared, as he and Tharok faced off. The battle was fierce, but John's determination and the knowledge that humanity stood behind him gave him the strength to prevail. As Tharok lay defeated, John activated the ancient artifact they had recovered, sending a pulse of energy through the ship that disabled its systems. Across the planet, the Zorvathian forces found themselves cut off and vulnerable. The tide had turned irreversibly. Humanity had not only survived, but had proven their resilience and strength. The aftermath of the invasion saw a world transformed. The nations of Earth, having fought together against a common enemy, found a new sense of unity. Ancient secrets were studied and preserved, ensuring that humanity would be prepared for any future threats. John, Lisa, and the other heroes of the Resistance became symbols of hope and determination. "We showed them what it means to be human," John said in a broadcast to the world. "We are stronger together, and we will always fight for our home." The Zorvathians retreated, their arrogance shattered. They left Earth with a newfound respect and a lingering fear of the indomitable spirit of humanity.